You've been surrounded by people and still felt completely alone. And the fact that you clicked on this video tells me you already know this loneliness isn't ordinary. Something shifted inside you. Maybe you can't pinpoint the exact moment. Maybe it happened slowly, like waking up one morning and realizing the conversations that used to fill you up now drain you dry. The group chat that used to make you laugh just sits there with unread messages. The friend you used to tell everything suddenly feels like a stranger wearing a familiar face. And you know the thing that really gets you? It's not that they changed. You did. That feeling right there, that quiet, aching distance between who you are and who you used to be. It's not depression. It's not you being broken. That is your soul shedding a life it no longer fits inside. I need you to hear this clearly because nobody in your life is going to say it to you. The loneliness you feel right now is holy. It is one of the rarest things a person can go through. And the reason it hurts so much is because you're trying to maintain connections that were built for a version of you that no longer exists. Think about it. 2 years ago, maybe even 6 months ago, you were a different person running on a different frequency. You tolerated things. You laughed at jokes that weren't funny because you wanted to belong. You sat through dinners with people who never once asked how you were actually doing. You gave everything to relationships where the effort only flowed one direction. And back then, it was fine. You didn't notice the imbalance because you were asleep. Running on autopilot, fitting into spaces that were never designed for you, just so you wouldn't have to sit with silence. But then something cracked open. Maybe it was a loss. Maybe it was a betrayal that cut so deep, it rewired how you see people. Maybe it was nothing dramatic at all. Maybe you just got tired one Tuesday afternoon and thought, I can't keep doing this. Whatever it was, it woke something up in you. And whatever woke up refused to go back to sleep. Now you're here, alone at 10 o'clock at night, scrolling through your phone, surrounded by contacts you don't want to call. You've got hundreds of people who would respond if you texted them, but you won't, because you know what those conversations feel like now, surface level, performative. A script both of you are reading from because neither of you knows how to say what's actually happening. Here's what's actually happening. Your soul is rejecting environments that can't sustain your growth. The same way a plant's roots will crack through a pot that's too small, your spirit is breaking through relationships and spaces that were built for a smaller version of you. And the loneliness you feel is the gap between leaving the old pot and finding the new soil. You're in the in-between. The part nobody talks about because it doesn't make for a good Instagram caption. Nobody posts about Saturday nights spent alone, staring at the ceiling, wondering if something is broken inside them. Nobody talks about the guilt you feel for not wanting to go out anymore. And nobody mentions the weird grief of losing friendships that technically still exist. The person is still there, their number is still in your phone, but the connection is gone. Both of you can feel it. Neither of you is brave enough to say it out loud, so you carry it silently. You smile when people ask how you're doing. You say, I've been busy, because that's easier than saying, I've been completely alone, and I'm not sure if I'm evolving or just falling apart. Let me tell you which one it is. You're evolving, and I can prove it. If you were falling apart, you wouldn't be asking these questions. People who are truly breaking down don't wonder whether they're breaking down. They just break. They numb out. They fill every silence with noise so they never have to hear what's underneath. But that's not you. You're sitting inside the silence on purpose. You're choosing the discomfort because something deeper in you knows that what's on the other side of this is worth the pain of getting there. That instinct, that quiet knowing, that pull toward solitude even when every part of your brain is screaming for connection. Your soul is leading you somewhere your mind hasn't caught up to yet. And I know it's terrifying. Because the mind needs evidence. The mind needs a timeline, a guarantee, a 5-step plan with measurable outcomes. The mind says, if I'm supposed to be on the right path, why does it feel this bad? Why am I more alone now than when I was pretending? Why did awareness make everything harder? Because awareness always makes things harder before it makes them beautiful. Think about any moment of real growth in your life. Not the motivational poster version, the real version. Every single time you became a stronger, more honest version of yourself, there was a period of destruction first. You had to lose the friend who was holding you back. You had to leave the job that was killing you slowly. You had to stop answering the call from the person who only reached out when they needed something. You had to let go of the comfortable lie to make room for the uncomfortable truth. And in between the losing and the finding, there was a stretch of brutal loneliness where you questioned everything. You're in that stretch right now. If you feel this in your bones, if this is describing the exact season of life you're walking through, type shedding in the comments. Not for me, for you, as a marker. So, when you come back to this video in 6 months and your life looks completely different, you can see exactly where you were when the transformation started. Here's what I want you to understand about this season. The people who fell away were not your punishment. They were your preparation. Some of those people were beautiful humans who simply matched a frequency you've grown past. There's no villain in this story. Just two people vibrating at different speeds, and the connection couldn't survive the gap. That's physics. That's how it works. And some of those people, if you're honest with yourself, were anchors, not in the stabilizing way, in the drowning way. They kept you tethered to a version of yourself that was convenient for them. The version that didn't ask too many questions. The version that showed up, performed, and never demanded more. And now that you've started demanding more from your life, from your own reflection in the mirror, those people can't keep up. So they leave, or they stay and make you feel guilty for changing. Either way, the result is the same. You end up alone. But here's the part that nobody tells you about being alone during a spiritual shift. The loneliness is temporary. The transformation is permanent. What you're building right now in this painful, quiet, unglamorous season is the foundation for every real connection you'll ever have. Because for the first time in your life, you're not performing. You're not shape-shifting to fit someone else's comfort zone. You're sitting with who you actually are. Unfiltered and raw. And that takes a kind of courage most people will never have. Most people spend their entire lives surrounded by others and still never know themselves. They fill their calendars and their group chats with noise. They call that connection, but it's distraction with a social schedule. Real connection, the kind that feeds your soul and makes you feel seen, that requires two people who have both done the work of sitting alone long enough to figure out who they actually are. You're doing that work right now, and the people who are meant for your next chapter, they're doing it too. Somewhere right now, someone is going through their own version of this. They're lying awake wondering why everything feels different. They're losing friends. They're outgrowing their old life. And when the timing is right, when you've both finished shedding, you're going to find each other. Not by chasing or forcing it, by simply being so fully yourself that the right people can't miss you. So stop panicking about the empty space. Stop trying to fill it with old connections that don't fit anymore. Stop going back to people and places just because the silence is uncomfortable. The silence is where your next self is being built. Every time you choose to sit with it instead of run from it, You're proving to the universe that you're ready for what's coming. And what's coming is not just new people. It's a new you interacting with the world from wholeness instead of hunger. No more tolerating, no more performing, no more pouring yourself out just to keep people around. You're going to attract from overflow, not desperation. And the quality of every single relationship in your life is going to reflect that shift. The loneliness was never the enemy. It was the doorway. You've been standing in it, terrified, thinking it leads nowhere. It leads everywhere. It leads to the version of you that doesn't need external validation to feel whole. It leads to friendships built on truth instead of convenience. It leads to a peace so deep that being alone finally feels like freedom. You're closer than you think. The fact that the old life doesn't fit anymore is proof that the new one is almost ready. A caterpillar doesn't become a butterfly by holding on to the cocoon. It becomes one by letting the cocoon fall apart completely. Let it fall apart. You're not losing your life. You're finally beginning it. If this found you in the middle of your own shedding season, leave a like so it can reach someone else who's sitting in that silence tonight, wondering if they're okay. And subscribe to this channel. Because the loneliness told you one story, but we're going to keep telling you the real one.